this is Shelley from Koala and it's a Knacks. So glad that you were joining me. In this tutorial we're going to make this Willow Sweater Vest. Isn't it beautiful? I'm calling it the Willow Sweater Vest because each one of these individual granny squares is called the Willow Granny Square. And we're going to use 2 shades of yarn. I will put all the yarn particulars down in the description box below, but this one right here, this lighter one, is Bernat Premium Tweeds in the color Aran, and you're going to need 3 balls of that one. And this darker one is Loops and Threads Soft Classic in Dark Taupe. You only need one of those. So 4 skeins of yarn is going to get you this beautiful sweater vest. Now I'll put all the measurements of this particular one in at the end of the video when you see the just come up again. So be sure to watch it out if you want to see the measurements. But I absolutely love how it turned out. Now, my original design was to make it without pockets, and then when I got to the end of the video, I thought, this is really screaming for pockets. So I show you how to make pockets at the end and attach them, so be sure and watch for that as well. Alright, so thanks again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Grab your 5mm H crochet hook and 1 ball of your tweed Aran, and we're going to get started on this beautiful Willow Sweater Vest. We're going to take that yarn with the tail closest to you, and we're going to wrap it around our 2 fingers. I'm just holding it with my 2 fingers there, and then I'm going to wrap it around my other 2 fingers, coming around, cross it over, and then I just snag it with those with that finger there, and I go underneath that first strand. You can see it's an X there, but I'm going underneath. I'm going to grab that one, bring it underneath, give it a turn, and then I'm going to grab, this is the yarn coming out of my ball. I'm going to just grab it. I'm going to pull it through to join. Then take your fingers and just turn them like that, and you've got your magic circle. Slow that down. You can go up to the right hand corner of your screen, click on it, and then you can slow that down, and you can easily do a magic circle. If you've been afraid of it for a long time, don't be. It's very, very easy, and you can do it. We are going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. This will count as a double crochet. I'm going to take my stitch marker and I'm going to put it in that top one. Yes, I use bobby pins. Easy to put in, easy to take out. It's in the 3rd chain. Now we're going to double crochet into that ring. So here's my ring. I'm going to yarn over, go into the center of that ring, grab my yarn, bring it through, yarn over, go through 2, and go through 2. That's 1 double crochet. Yarn over, go into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, and go through 2. That's 2 double crochets. We're going to do this 15 times because we need 16 double crochets in our ring, and this chain 3 again counts as 1. So yarn over, into the ring, drop a loop, pull it up so that it's the same height. Don't have it way down here. You're going to have a really ugly looking double crochet. Pull it up, yarn over, go through 2, and go through 2. And it'll become a normal thing for you to just pull that up. And how I do it is when I'm, and then you can tighten this a little bit as you go, just so it's not out of the way. But how I do it is, it's just natural for me to come up, and then I turn my hook just a little bit, and it brings it up, and then go back and do it. And we're going to put 15 double crochets into our ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you pull that a little bit to make it tighter so you don't have to hold it, then I lay it across and I hold it with my thumb and my finger, and then it doesn't keep opening on me. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 1 more makes 15. And with my chain 3, that is 16 double crochets all together. I'm going to take my tail and pull it tight. We'll work that in when we're on about round 3. I get a little ways in and then I work it. And we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 where we put our stitch marker. So I'm going to go into there, I take out that marker, I'm going to yarn over and bring it through that loop, bring it through the loop that's on my hook. I have just slip stitched to join. Now I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is row 2, chain up 4, but we're going to take our stitch marker and we're going to put it in that third one. So not this one, which is our 4th, but in this third one right there. Oops, just twisted my. So put your stitch marker in the third one. This acts as a double crochet and a chain 1. This is the right side of our work. We're going to turn it so it's on the wrong side, and you know your wrong side is where your tail is. So if that helps you, you just leave that tail there till the end of your work, okay? And then right here is the stitch that belongs to this chain. We're going to go into this next one here. We're going to yarn over, go into that next one, yarn over, draw up a loop, make sure it's the right height, go through 2, go through 2. That's our double crochet, chain 1. Into the next stitch, double crochet, and chain 1. Into that next stitch, yarn over, go into the stitch, make sure you're grabbing both strands there, yarn over, bring it through, bring it up to the same height, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Let's do it one more time. Yarn over, go into your stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over. Oops, did I forget to do my chain 1 in that other one? Let me just double check. You know how you can check? Is if you go back to it and there's 2 strands on your yarn right there, that means you did not do your chain 1, which I didn't, and I could see that. So I'm going to chain 1. See, now there's only 1. Then I'm going to yarn over, go into that next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, chain 1. There's those two strands right there, but they're underneath that chain 1. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. That's your double crochet, chain 1 in every stitch around. Yarn over, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, all the way around, including your starting chain 4. You should have 16 of these. All right, I'll see you when you get to the end. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It looks like there's 2 there, right there and there, but this is your slip stitch to join, so it's just a fooler. You don't go into there. That's 16 and chain 1. You are then going to slip stitch to the 3rd chain on your chain 4, which we marked with our stitch marker there. We're going to slip stitch, so you're going into that stitch, yarn over, bring it through that stitch, and then bring it through the next one. This is the wrong side of our work. We've just completed row 2. We are now going to begin row 3. To begin row 3, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Pop in your stitch marker. And you're going to turn your work into that very closest space that my finger's sticking through there. You're going to put 2 double crochets. We know how to do double crochets, so I'm just going to do 2 of them. And then into the top of this double crochet, which is before this space here. You see right here, you're going to go into the top of that double crochet. You're going to do a double crochet. Then into the next space, you're going to do 2 double crochets. And to the top of the next double crochet, this one here, that space right there, you can see that stitch up there, you're going to do a double crochet. You're going to continue that all the way around. So into every space, 2 double crochet. And the top of that next double crochet, you put it just 1 double crochet. Oops, it's snagged. Then 2 in the next space. And 1 at the top of that double crochet. Do that all the way around, and I'll see you when you get to the end. All right, so I am all the way around except for I have this last space here. So I've double crocheted into that top of that double crochet. I have to put 2 double crochets in that space. 1 and 2. And then this chain right here is where we started. So we have our chain and 2 in the space. Pardon me, our double crochet in that, our chain acted like a double crochet in the double crochet that's right here, the row before. So here's double crochet and then 2 in the space, double crochet, 2 in the space, double crochet, 2 in the space, all the way around. And at the end here we have double crochet, 2 in the space, double crochet, and 2 in the space. And when you count all of these, including that chain 3, you have 48, because we had 16 the row before, and each double crochet and space represents 3 double crochets. 3 times 16 is 48. So friends, that's where we are. Now we're going to go slip stitch into the top, into that 3rd chain, which is where we put our stitch marker, and yarn over, go through both. There we go. Now we are going to chain up 6. I'm going to leave this tail here because it helps me to see right side and wrong side, which is easy to tell anyways, because you can see on your work if you know what the right side of a stitch looks like. But for your benefit, I will leave it there. And we're going to chain up 6. 4, 5, and 6. So I have 6 chains there. And we're going to take our stitch marker and we're going to put it in the very first chain. And that acts as our first single crochet. It represents our first single crochet and a chain 5. Then we're going to turn our work. There's a patterning that happens with this row that it would be good for you to write down. So write down 5, 3, 4, 3, okay? Because this is our chain 5. The next chain we're going to do is a chain 3. Then the next after that is a chain 4. Then a chain 3, and we're going to repeat that. But in between each chain, we're going to skip 2 stitches and do a single crochet. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, and into this next chain, I'm going to do a single crochet. Yarn over, pull up a loop. You got 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go through both. That's a single crochet. Remembering, this is our chain 5. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 2. 1, 2. Single crochet into the next one, and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This 5 is going to be our corner in the next round. All right, so we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, single crochet, and chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. So we have a chain 5, a chain 3, a chain 4, and a chain 3. We're going to repeat that. Skip 2, single crochet, chain up 5, skip 2, single crochet, chain up 3, skip 2, single crochet, chain up 4, skip 2, single crochet, chain up 3. So we have our 5, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 4, 3. We're going to repeat that 2 more times. I have completed that 2 more times, and you'll take note, we're on the wrong side of our work. We have finished our chain 3. So this was 4, single crochet, chain 3. We are going to slip stitch into where our stitch marker is. That's the first chain that we did. Pull that out. So slip stitch to join. And in this round, and in this round only, we do not turn our work. We're going to go into that very next chain, the first chain of our chain 5, and we're going to slip stitch. We're going to go into that next chain, and we're going to slip stitch. So we've slip stitched to join, and we've done 2 slip stitches, 1 in each of the first 2 stitches. Now we are going to chain up 4, or pardon me, chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. That acts as our first double crochet. Again, this was our 5 space, so we know it's a corner. So this chain 3 acts as a double crochet. I'm going to do 3 more into that space. 1, 2, 3. My mistake, I'm going to do 4 because we need 5, and 4. So I have my chain 3, which acts as a double crochet, and 4 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to chain up 2, 1, 2, and into that very same space, I'm going to do another 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is our corner, our first corner, and 5. Again, you did not turn your work. So we have our 5 double crochets, chain 2, 5 double crochets. Into the next space, we are going to do 1 single crochet. That's it. Then into that next space, you're going to do 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 more makes 7. And then into that very next space, we're going to do 1 single crochet. That is our repeat patterning. We have in our chain 5 space, we have 5 double crochets, chain 2, 5 double crochets. In the next space, the chain 3, we have a single crochet, then we have 7 double crochets in the chain 4 space, and we have a single crochet in the chain 3 space. So 5 double crochets, chain 2, 5 double crochets in that space, single crochet in the next, 5 double crochets in, 7 double crochets in the next, and 1 single crochet in the next. And you repeat that 4 times. So of course, in my chain 5 space here, I'm going to now do 5 double crochets, chain 2, 5 double crochets. There's my second corner. Into this space, I'm going to do a single crochet. Into this space, I'm going to do 7 double crochets and then a single crochet into this space. And I'm going to repeat that until I get to the end. And that will end on a single crochet. So I'll meet you when you get to the end. All right, just repeat that patterning. I have 1 space left, and that's for a single crochet. And I neglected to put my stitch marker back in, but I'll show you how you find it, the top of your chain, if you forget to put your stitch marker in. If you pull on this, you see that stitch at the very top that has a bar? You can see this bar right here that's going across. That's the top of your double crochet. So your last chain would be the one right before it. And so I'm going to go into there. I'm going to slip stitch to join. And for the next round, we are going to turn our work and slip stitch into that chain 1 space. It's right there. So slip stitch. There we go. From there, we are going to chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to put a stitch marker in that 3rd one. That acts as my first double crochet and a chain 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and then into the top of this 4th stitch, which is, this is our cluster of 7 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4th one is the middle one. You're going to put a single crochet, and you're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. You can just write this down as I'm doing it. I'm going to show you a patterning as soon as we get to the corner, and our patterning will start with the corner, and that's going to make it a little bit easier for you. And down here is our single crochet right here. We're going to double crochet into that single crochet, just like that. And we are going to chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next is our corner right here. We're going to go into that corner with a single crochet, chain 2, and then another single crochet right into that same corner. here's where we're gonna begin. You can think about your patterning as we do this. So when we do a corner, after we finish the corner, we're going to chain 4. Then after our next stitch, we're going to chain 3. And then after the next stitch, chain 3. And then the next one is 4 again. So I write on my paper 4, 3, 3, 4, and I just remember where the double crochets and the single crochets are. But if we can remember, after the corner starts your patterning of 4, 3, 3, 4. Then let me show you what we do. So now my corner's done. I'm going to chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if I look at this, I see that my single crochet is the next thing there. We double crochet into our single crochets. So if I did 4, now I know it's 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go up to the top of the 4th one in the cluster of 7, and I'm going to single crochet into there. And I'm going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. The next one is my single crochet that's way down here, so I have to make it taller. I'm going to double crochet. And then I'm going to do 4. So then after my corner here, I have 4, 3, 3, 4. I'm back at a corner. I'm going to single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. And then I know I'm starting my 4, 3, 3, 4 patterning for my chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. I look down here. The next thing is the single crochet. I'm going to double crochet into it. I'm going to do 3, 1, 2, 3. So I know when the next one's also a 3, and it's on my cluster. So I'm going to go to the top of the center one, which is the 4th one, and I'm going to single crochet. And I'm going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. The next one is my single crochet. I'm going to double crochet into there. And then I'm going to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, let me show you. We've got our corner. Then we have 4 chains, double crochet, 3 single crochet, 3 double crochet, 4, and back into the corner. And that is our patterning on all 4 sides. You're going to continue that around one more time here, and then we will finish together here, because the reason why I started to show you at the corner here was because we were in the middle of a row when we started. So now what we've done, into our single crochets, we're going to always do a double crochet. All right, and into the top of the 7 cluster and the 4th stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. That makes our height even. This double crochet matches it up to this height so that we're getting a straight line there. All right, so after your corner, you're going to do a chain 4, double crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, double crochet, chain 4. You're going to start your corner again. I'll meet you when you get to the last one after your last corner that you do. I finished my last corner, and you'll see our stitch marker is there, so we're at the end here, but we began that, we did half of the row already. So we know after our corner, we chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain right there, because this acts as our double crochet. We're going to slip stitch into that 3rd chain, remove our stitch marker, and we've completed that row as well. There you go. Let's move on to row 7. For row 7, we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, place your stitch marker at the top of the 3rd chain and turn your work. We are now working on the wrong side of our work. We have a patterning here, of course, again, because we have 4 sides that need to all be equal, but we're going to do 4 double crochets in this first space right here. This counts as 1. So 1, our patterning will start after our corner, 2, 3, and 4. So with that chain 3, we have 5 double crochets there. Next is our little corner that we have right here, and into that corner we're going to put 3 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets all into that corner space. 1, 2, and 3. That will always be what your corner is. Then you're going to start a patterning. You're going to put 5 double crochets into this first space. You're going to put 3, 3, and 5, and then there's your next corner. So we're going to put 5 double crochets into that first space. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, you're hearing this thing click and it's making me hold my stuff funny because I'm trying not to let it click, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into the very next space. 3, 1, 2, and 3. Into the very next space. 1, 2, and 3. And into that next space, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which brings us to our next corner, and we repeat the whole thing. So into the corner, you're going to put 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Then you're going to put 5 double crochets into this next space, 3 double crochets, 3 double crochets, 5 double crochets. Takes you to your next corner. You start that again, and then once you get to this third corner, you're going to do your 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Then you're going to put 5, 3, and 3 because we started with 5 before this corner. All right, I'll see you when you get to the end. I just have this little space to go, and I'm going to put 3 double crochets. Friends, we are almost done. One more simple row. But it's crazy how fast, once you get the patterning down, how fast you can make these. So don't get discouraged. You can make one of these pieces so nicely and quickly, and it's going to be fun. We're going to slip stitch into that top of that chain where slip stitch where our marker is. Take that out. We're going to turn our work. We're going to chain 1. I'm going to put my marker in there. It's hard to see where the end of your row is, so always put your marker in, on, especially on the single crochet row. And we're going to single crochet into every stitch. And in the corners, we're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 chain 1, 2 single crochets. So I'm going to single crochet. I'm actually going to join to my single crochet at the end, not to that chain 1 that I did. And single crochet in all of these. You should be working on your right side. And we're almost at the corner. Don't forget this little one right there that belongs to this double crochet. It's easy to skip over that one. And you're going to put 2 single crochets, chain 1, 2 single crochets all into that corner space. And then pull this aside a bit because you don't want to forget this single or this double crochet that's right there. And single crochet in every stitch until you get to your next corner. Put 2 single crochets, chain 1, 2 single crochets, and I'll meet you when you get to the very end. Coming up on the second half of that first side that we did. And we're going to, here's this little loose slip stitch there. So I'm going to pull that out. This is my little chain right there, but I'm going to go into that first single crochet, which is right beside it. And I'm going to slip stitch to join. Then I'm going to yarn over, bring it through my loop, grab my scissors, cut off a tail, pull it through, pull that down, and we have a beautifully done square. I'm going to hide all my tails. All we do for that is we take our tail end, and I just pull that to make sure it's really tight, and then I'm just going to go under that first row of stitches, pull through, and continue around, pull through, and again. I always go about 1.5 turns around, and then I know it's not going to come out, and you don't have to go back the other way. Just about like that. And then we can snip that off. Go up to our edge here. And what I do here is I just bring it down to that, oops, to where I see the base of my last row right here. You see a little upside down V here? There's your V. There's a V. I go underneath those. Just underneath them like that. Under 5 or 6 of them. Pull through, but here's the trick. You don't want to pull that too tight because you'll gather it and it'll compromise the look of your granny square. So once it's through, pull that out to loosen it. Then I go back the other way. And cut it off. All right, so here's our beautifully done square. I'm just going to give it a little measure here for you. It's about 8.5 inches in length and width, and so it's an 8.5 inch square, and it looks beautiful. You are going to, if you're following the same color sequencing as I am, you're going to make 10 of these solid ones. All right, so that's not too bad. And then you're going to make another 10 of these double color ones. All right, so we're going to do the first 3 rows of our circle in a second color and then complete it with our first color that we did our first solid square in. So how pretty is that? It's going to be very pretty together. Now you can do lots of different options. You can change up the colors however you want. I like to have really subtle, soft color changes. So I'm only doing the center here and doing this part, the color A, the first color that we did. All right, so for those of you who don't know how to do a color change, I'm gonna show you how to do that next. And you're gonna, again, make 10 of these ones and 10 of these ones. So when you think about that, that's not too bad for a garment that you're gonna wear. It's gonna be beautiful. So it won't take you too terribly long. Put on a good movie, listen to a good podcast, audiobook, whatever have you, and we're gonna make 10 of each. I'm going to show you how to do the color change. So you're going to do your first color for the first 3 rows. Then when you're at the end of your double crochets on row 3, so you're putting 2 double crochets in the center and then double crochet on the top of the double crochet, and then you're going to end with your 2 double crochets in that space, and then you're going to slip stitch into the chain 3, the top of the chain 3. You're going to pop your crochet hook in there. You're going to drop this. I'm going to actually cut it and drop it. You're going to hold it with your finger. You're going to grab your other yarn and you're going to hold that with your finger. I hold it now with my 3rd finger, and you're going to slip stitch to join. Don't worry, because you'll tighten this later. You'll tie it, you'll slip stitch to join. Then row 4 is chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and turn your work. Now you're beginning the next row. All you got to do is take these 2, give them a tie, and continue on with your patterning for row 4, and we will hide those into our work when we're done our square. Here you see I have laid it out on the carpet here, just so you can see the structure of our vest. Very, very simple. The 12 squares that you see at the bottom of the screen are the back of the vest. And then those 2 longer ones that are up at the top there will get folded down over the back piece and become the front. So very, very simple structure. We're going to now start with the bottom part, and I'm going to show you how we're going to seam our squares together. I have the bottom 2 rows, which are my multicolor, my double color squares. And we're going to, I have 6 of them. We're going to take the first 2. Okay, these are on this side, and then we'll have these 2 here, and then the next 2 beside those. For the sake of a small table here, I'll just start with these 2 here. All right, so whenever you're seaming, here's what you have to always remember. You want to have the right sides together. So this is the right side of my square. This is the right side of this square. I'm going to put them together. This will be the bottom row. This is going to be the second row, and we're going to go that way 3 squares. Okay, so I'm going to put the right sides together just like that. And then I'm going to take a piece of yarn and put it on my needle that goes the span of 3 lengths of this. So about 26 to 30 inches. I'll do about 30 inches because we're going to do the whole row across in one strand. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your right sides together. You're going to find that chain 1 that's between your 2 single crochets. Okay, so you just have to pull it apart there. It's right there. When you're looking at the top angle of our stitches, let me just move over a little bit. You'll see that the V has 2 strands, this loop here and this loop here. The front loop is the loop that is closest to the front side of your work, the right side of your work. The back loop is this loop, which is closest to the wrong side of your work. We're going to be working in the back loops on both pieces. So when we go into our chain 1, you'll see that there are 2 loops there. You're going to go into the back loop, which is this one. Pull through. And then you're going to go to the chain 1 on this side. Just feel it with your thumb right there. And you're going to go into the back loop right there. And then to begin this, we're going to just make a tie. We're going to make a knot just so that when we're pulling it tight, we have it secured there so it puts some tension on it. There we go. So now that is taken care of. Easy start. It's easy all the way down, actually. It's a very easy join, but it's very, very nice. So we're going to work into the back loops only. And when you put your piece together, the front loops automatically just go down into the little valley there, and the back loops are what you see. So I'm going to go across and across. Pick up the back loops. Come through. My yarn tail is coming out of this end, so I'm going to start on this end. I'm going to go across, so that's the back loop and the back loop, and pull through. And the 2 back loops, and pull through. You don't have to worry about tension, tightening it here, because we're going to do it when we get to the end of the side here. And pull it through, and the back loop, and the back loop, pull through. This is all we need to do. Well, not all we need to do. When we get to the end, we're going to join in a little bit of a different fashion, but still easy. So back loop, here if I pick this up, here's my stitch. There's 2 loops there. I'm taking the back one. And here's 2 loops here. On that stitch, I'm taking the back one. And again, it automatically falls to that when you hold your squares together. And back loop, and back loop. I'm going to work this all the way down to the corner. I'll see you when you get there. All right, so I am at the corner. Here's my chain 1 loops. I'm going to go into my chain 1 that's in between my single crochets on my corner there. And now if I fold this up, you can see that the front loops are showing, but it's because we didn't worry about our tension, it's all loose in some spots. So all you're going to do, because we knotted it off there, it's secure, we're going to just pull this and get it nice and even, and then I just play with it a little bit just to make sure that it's not gathered or pulling or anything, and you have a perfectly joined square. Now we're going to take the next 2. So I'm going to put that out on the table. Let me just take 2 of them. Right side and right side. Friends, you got to make sure you pay attention to that, because you don't want to get your whole garment made and then find that you have one of your squares backwards. I'm going to find my, oops, sorry, see, I want to put it together, right sides together. Let's go over here because I have a little loopy thing that happened in there that I got to fix. And we're going to find our chain one. And there it is. Go into the back loop only. And you're going to pull through. Now, if I don't fasten this off, it's going to be all loopy in here, loose in here between the two. So I like to then pull it close to this one when I know that this one is finished off the way I want it in tension. Then I'm going to just pick up the corner one on this top one here again. I'm going to go through, come through the back loop of that one that I just did. Now this is just my way of doing it. Some people might be yelling at the screen saying, why are you doing that? But I just want to fasten the two together, right like that. You don't even see it. Then it's not going to slide around and I have it secured. And then I'm going to just begin picking up the back loops. Should have actually started on the other side because that's where my knot was. So I'm going to pull that out. Attention to detail is important. Oops. There we go. And I'm going to work my way all the way down to the end of this square. I'm going to fix the tension, and then I'm going to join the third one, the third set. And when I have that done, I'm working along, and you see now we're going to have 4 squares attached here. Then we're going to attach the next 2, and we have the width done. Then we're going to move up to our top here. I don't feel I have to stay with you to the end there because it's a very simple stitch. We're going to take our next one, making sure right side and right side. Put them together, fold that over, and begin working that third row. Friends, that's what you're going to do until you have all of your rows done. And that would give you 4 rows of 3. And then you're going to start working on your long pieces. And for them, you've only got one side to go across. So you're going to start on one end, you're going to make your little knot, you're going to go across, and then you're going to tie off, which I haven't done yet. I have to fix the tension on here, then I'm going to tie a knot, and then I'm going to move up to this next one. I'm going to put the next square right sides together, just like that, and I'm going to do that one. And I'm going to continue up until my front side is done, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the second one. And that's basically all there is to it. But I'm gonna attach my long pieces on my side, and then I'm going to take it and attach it in the same fashion to the last row. There's 3 across here, just envision 3 across. And then I'm going to take my section that is going to be folded over the front. Let's say that this is the beginning of it, and then it works its way up. I'm going to take that, I'm going to put right sides together, and I'm going to join my square back piece to my front piece, my side that's on the front, and I'm going to do it on the other side as well, and then we have it joined. I think that that just with these instructions you should be able to get it. I don't want it to stay with you and do the whole thing because you're following the same process the whole way through. So friends, get all your squares joined. Make yourself a beautiful vest, and then see me back and we will do our finishing work. All right, so I have this big beautiful piece on the table, and once I seamed it this way, oh, this is the wrong side. Once I've seamed it this way on all my pieces, so there's 4 in total, 1, 2, 3, 4. This being the right side, you're going to fold the right sides together like this, vertically, and then you're going to do the exact same thing that we did before, picking up the back loops and you're going to go up the side vertically and join them that way. And then on this one as well. And then we have our back panel. I love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Now I've already gone ahead and I've put one of my front panels on, and all you do, sorry, there's a lot of flipping around on here. Hopefully it's not too distracting and that you can see, is I've got my, I put this panel, I sewed this panel up, all 4 pieces going across that way. And then I put my right sides together. This is the right side and this is the right side. I put the right sides together and then I seamed across the top here in the same manner, joining my shoulders. Okay, and so now all I have to do is take my second one. See what I've got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the right side. This is the right side. I'm going to put them together and I'm going to seam across, finish my second shoulder, and from there we're going to work on the sides. Now that the shoulders are completed, we have to sew up the sides. Now you got a couple options here. For me, if I start here after the first square, that is a wide enough armhole for me, but because it's a vest, I want it to be a little more airy, so I'm going to start in the middle of this second square. So here's my shoulder. I'm going to start in the middle, so I have a really wide opening there. You can judge it wherever you want to, and then I'm going to, from there, go down to here. I'm going to leave this open. I'm going to have like a slit on the very edge of my vest. So I'm going to leave this part open. So essentially I'm going to go from the top of this the bottom square right there, all the way up to, I'm going to do this first or the second round square here. So just one of those. And I'm going to do half of this one. So I'm only doing a one and a half square section for my seam. You can choose to do as wide or as narrow as you like. I might go 3/4 on here. That's probably what I'll do. I'll do 3/4 on my ivory square. So here's where my shoulder is up here. I'm going to leave this full square open, and 1/4 of the next square I'm going to seam only 3/4 of this solid one and all the way down through this next one, leaving this last one open so I have a slit. Okay, I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay, friends, here's my vest. Here's the top right here. This is the front, and here's the base of the front. We're going to add some a border just around the top, or the edge here, and around the collar and back down to this side here. We're not going to worry about the base here because we're going to add a little bit of a fringe. So we're going to start with a slip knot in our darker color onto our 5mm crochet hook, same one we've been using. And we are going to actually, we don't need to worry about the corner because we're not doing here. We're going to go over that corner. So here is where my space is for my chain 1. I'm going to go into that very next stitch right there. So here's the 2 single crochets that we did. I'm starting in the first one, popping my hook in there, yarn over, bring it through that stitch, then bring it through the loop on my hook, and I have now joined successfully to my piece. We are going to chain up 2, and then into every stitch we're going to add a half double crochet. So yarn over, go into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through all 3. Into the next stitch, yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops, yarn over, go through all 3. We are going to do a half double crochet into every stitch, all the way around until you get to the corner of this edge here, and you're going to do the first 2 stitches that's in that corner. Okay, I'll meet you when you get there. So simple, half double crochet into every stitch that's there, every single crochet from our square. When you get to the seam here, just put 1 in the seam. So half double crochets all the way around. Simple. All right, keep going, friends, till you get all the way around to the other, to the bottom of the other side. And I'll meet you back. I have made it around, all the way around and around the neckline and back down to this side. And I have one more half double crochet to do. I'm going to go into that stitch. I'm going to yarn over and bring it through. And then I already cut this brown one. I'm going to just drop that tail, and you can cut yours and then drop it. Then I'm going to grab my first color. I'm just going to hold them both back there with my finger. I'm going to yarn over and bring it through both to complete that stitch. Then my new yarn is attached. I'm going to yarn up 2, 1, 2. I'm going to turn my work. And we will tie this off and hide our ends in a bit. But hang on one second, I got this all tangled around my yarn because it's such a big piece. And we are going to go into that same stitch there. It's the base of that chain. And we're going to half double crochet. And then into every stitch around, just as we were doing. And we're gonna go to the other end. Then I'm going to change my yarn color again, and I'm gonna come back one more time with the brown. Because now the right side of my stitch is on the wrong side of my work. So doing a third row, I'm gonna end with the right side of my stitch on the right side of my work. So if you're going to follow what I'm doing, then you're gonna wanna do odd number of rows. You can add as many rows of this as you like, depending on how wide you want your front to be. But just know that as you add them, it gets wider around your collar too, which I like actually, so that's not a problem. But you're going to half double crochet all the way around in every stitch. Then you're going to change your yarn color again, and you're going to come down one more time with the brown. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. All right, friends, get that done, and I'll see you back when you're there. Have fun. All right, friends, the camera might be a little shaky because I'm holding it in my hands as I sit on the couch and do this part of the project. I just wanted to remind you not to forget to put your last half double crochet in the top of the chain 2 that you started with there. All right, so go into the top of that chain 2 to finish your last half double crochet. And I'm going to change my yarn color and go back the other way. Friends, how's it going? I love it. I think it looks great, and I hope you like it too. You can do it on the armhole if you want to, but I don't want. I think that would be a little bit too busy, but I wanted to tell you that it would, you can do it there as well. It would look nice. It's just not my preference. I just want to keep it basic with just the front here. But if you go ahead and do it on the sleeves, please make sure you show me in my Facebook group. I'd love to see what it looks like. Okay, but we're going to add a fringe now to the bottom. I love fringes, and I just think that this piece is calling for a fringe. So all I do is I cut a piece of cardboard. It's 6 inches from here to here, so that when we wrap and cut, we'll have 12-inch pieces, but then when you put them in half to make the fringe, they go back to 6 inches. So I take my yarn, and I'm going to use the dark color, and you just hold the end and you wrap around. Go as straight up and down as possible. And like, don't go like that and twist it, or your length is going to be all off. And just wrap. And it's not caught around your legs there. And wrap. You don't need like such a long wide piece. You can make it shorter. Because you don't use the whole thing anyways. But however, I'm going to wrap. And wrap and wrap. I'm going to stop right away just so I'll wrap more later, but I'm going to cut down there. Now, it doesn't matter if you cut here, 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 wherever, but you just want to cut one piece. And your first and your last little strands are going to be throw out pieces anyways, and you'll find them in a second, but you're just going to take one cut. See, because that's not the right length, obviously. And when you do that, you have strands that are 12 inches long. That one doesn't look like the right one either. The edge ones are, oh yeah, it is, I guess. Because it's a 6-inch fringe, and we made one cut, so now that's 12 inches long, and when you put it in half to make your fringe, it's back to 6 inches. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab our crochet hook. This is the right side of my work. You're going to start on the right side of your work, and you're going to go from the wrong side and push up to the right side of your work, just along the edge. I don't have to go quite that far in, just here. And then with your fringe in half, you're going to grab the loop and you're going to bring it through. Then you can either use your hook to grab it, or you can just, I always just take it off and put my fingers through that loop and grab those strands and bring it through. Now, the reason why you take your hook from the bottom and go up to the right side is because you see this little bar right here. When you pull that, then it's on the right side of your work. There's not a bar on this side. It's just like a strand there and a strand there. So there is a right side and a wrong side to a fringe. So I'm going to take another one. I'm going to put it in half. I'm going to go up from the wrong side to the right side. Just evenly space it out as good as you can. And then if you want to use your hook to just grab it, you can do that too. It's up to you, whatever you like. And then you pull it. And you tighten it. And you continue that process around the perimeter of your sweater. Okay, so I'm going up. Now I'm going to take you to the place where I generally use my fingers, but I don't know why, because that was really super easy. Now I'm on my stitches here. So it's easier to judge where you want them. Now this one I can tell there's too big of a gap in there, so I'm going to take it out and put it a little far, or a little bit closer. But you can decide whether you want to evenly space them out, one in every stitch or one in every other stitch. I haven't decided yet. Let me just get this into that first stitch there. Pull that through. And tighten. I'm going to just show you what it's going to look like to do one in every stitch and then one in every other stitch. And pull it through. Oh, I'm not going to use my fingers ever again. And this one I'm going to do every other stitch and pull it through. Now here's this one again. I have to move it over. I can stick 2 in there, but this is every stitch. This is missing a stitch. I like every stitch, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a fringe in every stitch all the way around, and then this beautiful piece will be done. So go ahead, put your fringe on, and I'll see you when you're done. All right, friends, I have the fringe on and I love it. I tried it on. I think it looks beautiful. And of course you saw pictures at the beginning and you'll see at the end again. But being who I am, sometimes my mind keeps creating. And this was not in the plan to add a pocket or 2 to this project, but I decided it needed one when all was said and done. And so I knit 2 more squares like this. I added 1 pocket so I knew how to do it and how to place it, and I could show you. And I'm going to turn this around to the other side. And right above that second, sorry, this is heavy. This second square here, we're going to place another one. So I have made 2 more. We're going to grab our needle and some thread here. Not some thread, some yarn rather. And we're going to start either on this side or this side, whatever's most comfortable for you, but I'm going to start over here. You're going to stick your finger in there, into these 2, and you're going to line this up. just like that, just to get a basic join. Then I'm going to, maybe just up here. Then I'm gonna go into this one up here just because I wanna bring my yarn up from the underside. And I'm going to pick up that full stitch there that is the chain. And I'm going to add this. I'm gonna just pop this one right through. Then I'm gonna grab it with my hand and I'm going to just make it longer so it doesn't come out. There we go. And what I'm gonna do, let me see if I can get a better glimpse or a better shot here, is all along here we see these front loop stitches that when we worked into the back loop, the front loops ones resurfaced at the top here. I'm going to pick up a loop and I'm going to pick up a full stitch on my square. Then I'm going to go to the next front loop and the next stitch, grab the whole stitch, both legs of it, and pull through. Then I'm going to grab the next, where's the last one that I was in? The next one and the next stitch. And the next one and the next stitch. And I'm going to pull tight as I go just to make sure it's snug. And the next and the next, I'm going to go all the way down just like that, grabbing the front loop and the next loop stitch, the front loop and the next stitch, pulling tight. Okay, when I get to the corner, I'll be all the way down here. You're going to stick your finger in there just because it helps to line it up as you go to make sure you're not missing anything. And you're going to keep grabbing the front loops here. You're going to grab the front loop and the stitch, and you're going to get into the corner here where your chain was, and you're going to pick up the chain on this one, and then you're going to rotate it, and you're going to do the same thing, grabbing the front loop and the matching stitch, the front loop and the matching stitch, this top loop right here and the matching stitch. Make sure you have the right side of your work up. Then when you get to this corner, you're gonna stick your finger in here every once in a while just to make sure it's lining up. You're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna grab the corner stitch here and the corner one there, and you're gonna work up. But when you get to this side, each of these little things here are the stitches. So what I did on the other one is I would grab here, I had my eye on this one, but I would grab the 2 bars right here and get underneath them. Then I would get underneath my stitch here. When I pulled that through, the next time I know this is the next, represents the next stitch. So there's 2 bars right there. I'm going to grab those 2 bars, then the next stitch on my piece. Then here's the next one. So I'm going to grab these 2 and the next stitch. Here's the next one. I'm going to grab these 2 that are right under it, and I'm going to pick up the next stitch on there, and I'm going to follow those little notches all the way down. I'm taking the 2 little strands that are right in front of each notch, and that's what I'm going to attach it to, and you get a beautiful, beautiful seam. It looks like it was not joined, that it was always there. So that's how I'm attaching my pocket on all 3 sides. Then I'm going to tie off in a knot and hide my ends, and then this project is officially done. If you have stuck with me and done every part, I'm proud of you. I'm so thankful to have you as a part of my community, and I cannot wait to see your vests. All right, congratulations. If you are at this part of the video and you've made your vest, I am so thrilled for you, and I can't wait to see it. Now, for the measurements, let me just check my little pocket here. Got my cheat notes in there. See, pockets are great. The back, the width of the back is 25 inches, okay? And the sides, each side here, individual sides from the side here to the edge of this, our edging here, is 9 3/4 inches wide. So both of them are 9 3, each of them are 9 3/4. And the length with the fringe is 39 3/4 long, okay? That's a 6-inch fringe. I'm 5'3", so that'll give you an idea of how long it sits. All right, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for joining me. Friends, please be sure and post it so I can see your finished work. It really does make my heart happy to see the work that you make using my videos. So Again, take care, have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Oh, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe.